May 26, 2015, in solidarity with the Ramstein Air Base protests that are going on right now in Ramstein, Germany. We're out here in front of the Coborns Superstore in Little Falls, Minnesota, to protest drone warfare. Drone warfare is terrorism. This sign was made in 2012. They probably have a lot more than 7,000 by now. That's solidarity with Iraq. That's the Iraq flag. Solidarity with Syria and the drone assassinations that are going on there. That's the Syrian flag. Ripley Raven with Switchblade equals kamikaze death. What that means, folks, is that the Ravens that Camp Ripley trains on are used in conjunction with the Switchblade drone, known as the kamikaze drone, that comes out of a little canister, less than 5 pounds, can be carried in a backpack, which has an explosive warhead, and they target with the Switchblade whatever they want to kill. A car, a bunch of people, whatever. And the Raven is used to surveil what's going on so they can know if they actually hit their target or not. This is Doug on this side, that's Larry over there. Brainerd Area Peace Coalition is here. Camp Ripley is certainly a cog in the war machine. They're also now complicit in war crimes, because the shadow drones that they train on out at Ripley are used for target acquisition for the bigger drones like the Predator and the Reaper. They get the target acquisition from the shadows, and then the Predator and the Reaper and the Global Hawks or the hunters, whoever comes in and kills the targets, whatever humans are in the way and they want to get rid of them. Also, shadow drones that are trained on out at Camp Ripley are weaponized. In the 2015 range regulations, it identifies in chapter 11.3, I believe it is, and then again in chapter 13 something, that ordinances and bombing is legal, and they are doing it with weaponized UAVs, including the shadows, at Camp Ripley. That's in the 2015 range regulations. You want to say something about the Ramstein
yes.
In solidarity with them?
Before Robin sent an email a few weeks ago, I wasn't aware of the role that the U.S. base in Ramstein, Germany plays in drone warfare. I didn't know that the U.S. uses Ramstein Air Base, a satellite relay station, to coordinate all the drone attacks. And we all know that these drone attacks have killed a lot of innocent people over the last several years. You know, many hundreds of innocent men, women, and children. Perhaps thousands, we don't know for sure, but way too many. And illegal, too. Illegal. These are extrajudicial killings. You know, none of the people who have been killed have been adjudicated guilty of any crime. It's just President Obama decided to go with. So, why we're out here today is German peace activists and human rights activists are holding a rally tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th, outside the Bundestag, the German parliament. They're demanding that the German government order the U.S. government to stop using Ramstein Air Base, a satellite relay station, for drone attacks. And they want this because it would be in compliance with German law and international law banning extrajudicial killings. I mean, this is an issue that many Germans feel very passionately about. In fact, majority of German people oppose drone bombing. Indeed, if you look at survey polls, I've read this before on Glenn Greenwald's website and other websites, most people around the world oppose U.S. drone attacks. It's only, I think, in the U.S., Canada, Israel, and India, because I think that's because of their hatred for Pakistan, where it has majority support. I think everywhere else throughout Europe, there's strong opposition to it, in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and of course in the Middle East. And we all know, too, that anti-American sentiment in Pakistan and Yemen is at an all-time high because of these drone attacks. People are angry, they're upset, their whole way of life has been disrupted. Kids can't go to school. Tribal elders can't get together and hold meetings because they're afraid of being attacked. People have literally gone insane because of the constant swirling of the drones up ahead. So this needs to stop. Terrorism is a crime. It ought to be treated as a crime. And if the U.S. has evidence that individuals overseas are committing terrorist acts against American civilians, then it should bring that evidence to the governments and the countries that those alleged terrorists are in and try to extradite them, to bring them to trial, a fair trial with full due process rights in the United States. So, no, drone bombing has to end. It's wrong.
Thank you, Dad. I'm going to get a little comment here from Larry. Larry's been protesting for a long time.
We're out here speaking out against drones again, and the possibility that Camp Ripley is going to be upping its drone programs and maybe using weaponized drones and ordnance out at the camp, and emphasizing the tie-in with Ramstein and what's going on there. Coincidentally, I lived on Ramstein Air Force Base when I was a teenager, and a lot of bad things go on there. So we'll keep doing this. We got to stop. Got to end war in all its forms.
The other thing is, Larry, you live just to the east of Camp Ripley as well, and you listen to those bombs going off all the time out there.
Hear them all the time.
I hear them in my backyard when I was creating every one of these banners, these signs for this event, and it's so troublesome because while I'm creating these signs and hearing the bombing that's doing the live fire exercises out north here that are going on, training our soldiers to go over and kill innocent people in other continents and other areas of the world, and I'm listening to the bombing that's going on. I can't hear the screaming of those children, those innocent people, but they're sure on my mind as I'm making these banners.
Right. I often imagine, lots of times the helicopters come right in over my house, other aircraft and stuff, or sounds like the explosions are almost in my backyard. I just live across the Mississippi about a mile away from the border of the camp. And I often think, man, what if those helicopters were coming after, my country or my village or my family? Same with the drones. What would it be like to have a drone hovering over top of your village, never knowing when it was going to attack, who it was going to attack, who was going to get hurt? I know hundreds of children have been murdered by these terrible machines of death.
Unfortunately, people in America they're not awake to the fact that this all could be coming home really soon with, if there's uprisings of any type or if there's a natural catastrophe, drone swarms are going to be used to control crowds. That's what the Army is planning to do according to their own documents, and it's scary.
The drone technology has many ways in which it can be applied negatively. To inflict violence, to surveil the population, to control the population.
Spy on people, and when drones fly, kids die.
It's unfortunately true.
It's terrible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.